I chose to become a minimalist a year ago, and my life has completely changed ever since I made this decision. It's been one heck of a wild ride, and I've learned some things, and I have some thoughts on what I would tell my younger self. And just for context, I have been recovering from a hip injury over the past couple of weeks, and so my house has gotten a little bit out of hand, and I am going to be tidying up some messes and redecorating my living room in this video. My home used to be a place of chaos. It used to be a place I wanted to escape from daily. And I did do that. And where I escaped to was the thrift store. And I would go thrifting, and I considered myself a collector. And a year ago, I made the big decision that my life needed to drastically change. I was getting tired of thrifting all the time, but it was an addiction that I couldn't escape. And so I've documented parts of my journey on this channel, and you can go back and watch my minimalist playlist. But I feel like I wish I would have learned these lessons sooner. And so what I would tell my younger self is how important home is, how important it is to create a sanctuary of peace within your home. I had a video a few weeks back where I got a whole bunch of comments and recommendations for my fireplace mantle. And I revealed in that episode that I don't consider myself good at decorating and that it was something that I really struggled with. And so I got so many comments and suggestions, and I'm going to be trying out a bunch of those suggestions in this video. The reason I think home needs to be a sanctuary is because this is a place where you want to be spending your time. It's a place where you get away from it all, where you feel a relief from the stress and the chaos of the world. It's a place where memories are made, and it's the place that your kids will always remember. And it is just so important that you want to build those memories in this space. Even though I don't consider myself talented at decorating, I still think that it is very important to put the effort in and to make your home a haven and a space where you enjoy being. And so I am going to try again, and hopefully I can get it right. I have a rip in my futon cover, so I plan on repairing that. And that's been bothering me for about a week now since it happened. And I really believe in taking care of what you already have. And I am not going out to buy anything to redecorate my living room. I just plan on moving things around. And this is how I live a frugal life. Over Thanksgiving, we actually moved our couches into a different position, and we actually really liked it. My husband and I both liked the couches in that position. And so I'm moving them, and I want to try to reconfigure this whole living room because we found it to be a more conversational setting versus just being surrounding the TV. And with the holidays approaching, I think this will be a lot nicer in terms of having people over and being able to sit across from each other and socialize. I got so much advice from my community here on YouTube about my fireplace. And a lot of people suggested raising the TV up to the top. And I am going to try that in a minute here, just to see what it looks like and to show you guys what it looks like. But I got some great ideas, and I want to name a few of them. One of my biggest problems was the plants. It just felt off. And I had a lot of plants on the top of my fireplace. I've moved them around even since that video, and I'm going to be moving them around again. But some of the suggestions that I got were groups of threes. Everything looks more pleasing in odd numbers. I had baskets on my bookshelf, and a lot of suggestions were to put the plants in the baskets or move the baskets up top of the fireplace and move the plants into the bookshelf. Some people told me to remove the plants entirely, while others told me that it would look too sterile. I also had someone tell me that different levels, like raising up some of the plants with books, would be helpful because one of the problems was that they were all at the same level, and I thought that was a great suggestion. And then I had more suggestions of putting the TV up top and putting plants down below in front of the fireplace. And then lastly, another idea was to group plants in bigger baskets, which I do have. I've got a whole basket collection. And so I'm removing absolutely everything from this fireplace, and I'm going to keep all of these ideas in my mind as I try to redecorate this fireplace. I also plan on having a video chat with my daughter, and this is something we do every single Sunday. And she is going to also give me some of her own advice during this video call. Now, I did try to record this video call for you guys, but I didn't end up getting any sound, which was so unfortunate. One of the things that I found so very helpful was recording this so that I could go back and look at the footage to see how it looked from further away. And you just seem to be able to see things differently with a different eye when it's on camera. So I'm opening up this fireplace, and it was absolutely horrid in here, full of spider webs and spider eggs. I haven't opened this up since last Christmas. I'm going to be including some footage of me talking to my daughter so that you can see a little bit of our call. And she had some really helpful tips and advice as I was working through this. And we both agreed that the TV on top just created two big black rectangles that was very unpleasing. And so I decided against that. She's showing me some of her decorations and giving me some suggestions of wall hangings and things like that. Tasha has developed her own taste and style, and she's worked a lot on her fireplace mantle and on gallery walls and different things within her own home. And we just had such a great chat, and she gave me some insight on some of the different heights and plants and showing me what she did. I really loved her little mini picture frames and little touches like that on her mantle. And I really want to do that on mine, but unfortunately, I just don't have anything like that. And I just don't have any small knickknacks to put on my mantle. But a really great suggestion to have those different heights of objects. And so after our call, which was probably 2 or 3 hours long, to be honest with you, we went over so many other things in our lives. I decided to get to work and put the TV back down because I really prefer the picture being up there, and so did she. I don't really like the TV up there, and also it's just too high for us to look up. Now, the TV is important to us because we have movie nights every single weekend, and my son actually bought this TV as a gift for our family last year because we just had a really old TV. And so I really don't want to take that TV away, even though that was something that some people suggested. Now it just came down to moving things around a whole bunch of times. I put a different picture frame on the side, and this is what I have for now. Ultimately, I would probably replace it with something entirely different, but I'm using what I have in the house already. I'm also including some of my son's antique book collection that is important to him because this is a family room and it needs to reflect the family. Hence why I need to keep the TV. Welcome back. It's the next day, and I want to talk about the fireplace reveal before I reveal it. Last night, I spent several hours tweaking the fireplace. I went back and forth. There was so much that I kind of needed to remove and then put back. I'm sure you all know the process because it's just what you do until it feels balanced. And being that my fireplace is not symmetrical, it's a rectangle and it's just not symmetrical. It really took a lot of work to get it to where it's at. It looks very simple, which I like. I don't want things overly cluttered, and I think that was a big part of the problem with the plants. Now, one of the suggestions or ideas that someone said in the comments that really hit home for me was the energy of the plants. Feng shui, if you will. The plants, the snake plant, its energy rises upwards. And the trailing plants, their energy goes down and drags downwards. And I think that I just had way too many hanging or vining plants on my mantle. I think that was the biggest problem. I also think that I had too many plants without any other elements. There are things that I want to look for my mantle. People suggested pictures, which I think would be really nice. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to show you my fireplace And this was a collaborative effort between you and I really want to thank you for that. So here we go. I pulled these cactus from another area in my home, and with the candle, it makes a group of 3. I've had this brass plate hanging around my kitchen, and I knew it didn't belong there. So I've included it with the candle holders. And then I've just added some elements in this bookshelf. Ultimately, I would like to include more, but that will take time. I grouped these plants together in a large basket. The thing I struggled with the most was that I didn't have any picture frames or knickknacks to include in this, which I think could have added to it. So here it is. I hope you like it. And if you enjoyed this video and you're new here, consider subscribing. I share a new video every Wednesday. I'll see you next week.